Annyeonghaseyo world, and welcome to my 11th vlog. This last week here in South Korea has probably been my most difficult week abroad. I've been missing my friends and family back in the States a lot, and everything that's been happening with Hurricane Dorian back in the States has definitely had me thinking about my home for the last 4 years at Palm Beach Atlantic University in West Palm Beach, Florida. They didn't know if the hurricane was gonna hit the Atlantic side of Florida or not, and so they of course evacuated my university, and I was following along with all of those stories and praying for all my friends there and praying for my sister who now lives on the west coast of Florida and all of my friends and family there with the Church of God Sarasota. But watching everything they were experiencing with that hurricane made me want to be with them. I wanted to talk to them and hear how they were doing, and that's hard when you're in two different time zones on two different sides of the world. And I just experienced a lot of moments where, I don't know, I missed them in ways that I hadn't missed them before. Like, there'd be moments where I'd be busy or getting ready for school, and sure, like, of course I would miss them because I loved them so much, but with this hurricane, I wanted to be with them. I wanted to go and just spend time with them in the midst of them evacuating and putting up the shutters all over their houses, which is something I got to experience when I was there for Hurricane Irma and of course Hurricane Matthew, which happened my sophomore year. And so it was just interesting being in another country while they were experiencing all of that. And of course the Bahamas got hit really bad, and I encourage everyone to please be praying for them and to send any supplies if you can, if you're in the States, because the things that they were experiencing were absolutely horrible and terrifying. It's in the midst of storms that we find that we need hope the most. And even here in South Korea, we experienced that a little bit with Typhoon Lingling looming over us. And that brought lots of rain and wind to the west coast of Florida this last week. And with rain, you often find lots of gloom and depression and wishing for the sunshine. And I think all of these storms had me thinking especially about my friends, Josh and Taylor, literally two of my closest friends on the planet. And I have some footage that they sent me that I'll be showing you throughout this little intro part of this vlog. But I was thinking about them especially Josh, my brother, because his mom in this last season of life has been battling lung cancer. And in the midst of her battling that storm, one thing that she really wanted to have as her message was this concept of blessings in the rain. How God can even give us blessings in the midst of those storms of this life. And as I was thinking about that this week here in South Korea, and them battling that all the way over in Florida, in the United States, on the other side of the world, I just thought, how amazing is it that truly God can give us blessings in the rain in the midst of these totally different storms, Typhoon Lingling, Hurricane Dorian, on other sides of the world, but still he gave both those blessings, and he was showing us those things. And I wanted to just be able to talk about that in this vlog and to talk about that concept of blessings in the rain. Of course, I reached out to my brother Josh and asked him if he would answer my question of what does hope mean to him in the midst of that, in the midst of those storms, in the midst of his mom battling her lung cancer and going through these hurricanes, all of it. Because truly God is still able to give us blessings in the midst of those horrible things. And I wanted to ask him how he was able to work his way through those things. So as always, with hope, I'm James, and here's Josh.
Hey everybody, this is Josh, and James has asked me to answer his famous question of what hope means to me. And I think the way that I'd answer that is just, I think of the verse in Hebrews chapter 11 that says that faith is the confidence in what we hope for and the assurance of what we can't see. And I think the reason why I think of that verse is just because in life, when things may not seem like they're going to pan out the way that I expected them to, or when things come up that I may not be prepared for, hope is kind of like that outlying thing that I can cling to. And that it promises me that God's going to be near and dear to me, and he's going to push me and guide me through a difficult process. And so I feel like a lot of people think of hope as it's kind of like a false expectation. But for me personally, through life experiences recently, I think of hope not as much as a false expectation, but really as like a faith expectation. And it's kind of this outward expression of my faith from the inside.
storm clouds rise and the sky's dark and oppressed with anxious care, I'm a safe retreat in the strong high tower, for no ill can harm me there. I hide in a safe retreat, hide in a safe retreat. When the storm clouds fly till they pass me by, I will hide in your safe retreat. When the lightnings flash and the thunders roll and the storms in fury beat, when they seem so sure to engulf my soul, then I hide in your safe retreat. Soon the storms will pass and the sky will clear, and my rest be calm and sweet. I will trust and wait with no anxious fear, for I hide in your safe retreat. I hide in your safe retreat, hide in your safe retreat. When the storm clouds fly till they pass me by, I hide in your safe retreat.
Even with Typhoon Lingling heading for South Korea, I had Wednesday off from school, and so I made the decision to go visit the city of Kunsan and also take a trip to Jeonju Island, which is one of the most beautiful islands in South Korea. It's actually a chain of several islands, and you can walk back and forth to each one. And while I was there, literally everyone was like, "Why did you choose to come here at this time of the year?" It was rainy and gloomy, but I just trusted that God was going to give me some sort of blessing in the midst of that rain. And as the day came to its end, Jeonju Island is known for its beautiful sunsets, and there were clouds, and so I was like, oh, there's no way that I'm gonna see a sunset today. But God delivered, and as I got ready to climb this beautiful mountain, and I ended up coming to the top of it, they had this overlook where you could just look out over the ocean and into the distance. And as I stood up there, the clouds parted and a little bit of the sun came out, and we even got to see this beautiful rainbow. And so in the midst of storms, guys, if you just keep going, if you just keep persevering, I promise that the clouds will part, the rain will stop, and there might even just be a rainbow waiting for you there too.
None of this is wasted, still becoming who we are. Ordinary people, extraordinary scars from a million places, like a million shooting stars. We belong to hope now. Heaven isn't all that far. Hide in your safe retreat, hide in your safe retreat. When the storm clouds fly till they pass me by, I hide in your safe retreat, I hide in your safe retreat, hide in your safe retreat. When the storm clouds fly till they pass me by, I hide in your safe retreat, hide in your safe retreat, hide in your safe retreat. When the storm clouds fly till they pass me by, I hide in your safe retreat.
So whatever storm you are facing in this life, always remember, every storm eventually passes, and blessings can always be found in the midst of the rain. With hope, I'm James.
The storm clouds fly till they pass me by. I'll hide in your safe retreat.
You look like a caveman.